All right, quick break. Knock, knock. Who's there? Amazon Music. Amazon Music who? Amazon Music, where Prime members can listen to top comedy podcasts ad-free. No awkward interruptions, just nonstop laughs from your favorite shows. It's free, it's funny, and hey, it's better than my knock-knock jokes. Download the Amazon Music app and let the good times roll. Or go to amazon.com/ad-free comedy. That's amazon.com/ad-free comedy to catch up on the latest episodes without the ads.
Emotionally unavailable.
Welcome to Emotionally Unavailable, the podcast where we dive deep into the world of emotional availability and intimacy. I'm your host, Melissa Hepner, and I can't tell you how excited I am to have you join me on this journey of self-discovery and connection. Whether you're navigating the complexities of relationships or exploring your own emotional landscape, this podcast is here to inspire, empower, and entertain. So get cozy and let's explore the depths of human emotions together. Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. Hope everybody's doing well. Mercury's in retrograde now, so if you have issues with travel, communication, thinking, that's why. Good times. Love that for us. Okay. Well, y'all know I got lots of Mercury in me, so far so good on day one of Mercury retrograde. Okay, today's guest is Dr. Salas, Dr. Alan Salas. He's best known for helping ambitious entrepreneurs break the cycle of their limiting beliefs so they can predictably make more sales, achieve their goals flawlessly, and grow their business optimally without self-help courses, endless therapy, or overhyped events. He's the creator of the Goal and Success Clearing Systems. Dr. Salas is a #1 Amazon best-selling author, chiropractic physician, and mind and body expert. He has served 4,267 clients and counting to transform their lives in the U.S. and Europe for more than 28 years. So we had a lovely conversation. I love meeting tender men who have just a sweetheart, and that's what he is. And I just had a really good time connecting with him. I'm going to include links to his website and his YouTube and his Facebook. And I will send you, I think this website link will give you a 30% off on the complete package, basic mind clearing and goal and success clearing, and 20% off of goal and success clearing treatments. But no matter what, just listen to the conversation. It's really good. I learned and grew, so I hope that you do too. Let me think. Is there anything I've been wanting to tell you guys? I don't think so. So yeah, just PSA about ads. I know they're annoying, but they are revenue for Mama, and Mama needs revenue. So if you'll just be chill about ads and listen to them, that'll be cool. Hey, if you haven't followed me on Spotify, please do that. Follow the show and rate the show. Put me on automatic downloads if you're not doing that already. And you can also rate and review over on Apple, and I would really appreciate that. And when I remember to, I read them and they make my heart happy. So, okay, guys, I think that's it for me. I hope you have a fabulous Friday and a wonderful weekend, and I love you with my whole heart. And here is me and Dr. Salas.
Emotionally unavailable.
All right, I'm back.
Hello, how are you? Do you hear me okay? I sound really loud to myself.
No, I like it that way. I mean,
I don't know why it sounds so loud. That's interesting.
how do you say Melissa?
Melissa.
Melissa. Okay, thank you. Just one minute.
And are you Alan?
Yeah,
Or is
Alan
it
is great.
Okay.
That will work.
That's weird. It's never sounded like this. But I sound fine to you?
Oh, yeah. No problem on
that's
my
good.
side. I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. Well, we'll roll with it. No worries. My glasses are dirty, so I'm going to clean that up real quick. Okay, so before we get started, a couple of things to know is I've already pressed record. So as soon as I give you this little PSA, we're going to jump right in. And I record a separate intro, and I do that at the time that I'm posting the episode. So I do like a full on, here's his bio, here's links to whatever you want in my show notes, all that stuff. So that's really where I feature everything. For the show, we just have like a really natural, organic conversation. So
Sure.
I've just started warning people about that because I don't know, unless they're used to it, they're like, wait, we were recording. I didn't even know. You know what I mean? So I just start telling
No
people
worries.
it gets weird. Okay, so you have a very interesting story. I love that you're helping entrepreneurs overcome limiting beliefs because I can't handle the way that sounds. I don't know what's going on with my sound, but I hate it.
Yeah.
But I love because I believe that all entrepreneurship requires some spiritual evolution. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I will agree that entrepreneur, but not only them as human being. I truly believe that's why we're on Earth for, right? To, like you call that, a spiritual evolution. You can say it, to become a better person, of a better version of yourself, right? I think that's
Right.
really that should be our goal, right? That's what I think.
Yeah. What were you spiritual prior to? So I know that what you said was you kind of reached a period of burnout and you got a divorce. You were diagnosed with colon cancer. Like, you experienced some really big upheaval in your life. Were you spiritual prior to those experiences, or was this all like a part of your evolution?
Yeah, well, let's put it that way. I was born and raised in France, right? And in France, religion has been really going down in Europe because probably all the wars, had been done with the name of
Right.
religion, right? And so,
So
so
true.
I always believe on something higher, right? And so, call it God and so awareness. Yeah, I was doing meditation at the peak, like for I believe 4 or 5 years. I did 3 hours of meditation a day. So I was really wanted to be connected really to the real reality, right? And so yes, before everything happened to me, yes.
Okay. That's really, well, I'm not very good at considering like context of other countries sometimes, but that's an interesting point that that religion would impact at all somebody's road to spirituality. But it's true. I mean, I actually turned off to anything spiritual for so long because I live in the US in a very conservative state. And so like here, all religion is very fundamentalist, and in that you're taught that a lot of the stuff you and I believe in is like, bad in a lot of ways, demonic, whatever. So I really turned off to it for a long time. For me, the turning point, aside from burnout and all the upheaval I experienced, but like astrology really helped me to embrace spirituality because I started to see a blueprint that made a lot of sense to me. What were you just had this natural exposure to it and kind of just worked within what you knew of spirituality? Is that, or did you have a
Well,
specific teaching?
what happened to me, freedom was very important, right? Because my dad was a very controlling and a very negative person. So he basically showed me what not to do, right? So that's why I was living in my boat in south of France, right? I was renting boat and the rest of the time, because for me, freedom was adventure. That was the synonym, right? So of course I travel a lot. I used to work only 7 months ago. And after, when I started to have, I had a calling and I saw myself, helping people. So anyway, to make a long story short, I ended up, study chiropractic and become chiropractor because of what they call the innate intelligence, our own ability to heal ourselves. I think it was fascinating to me. And so what happened after I realized that true healing comes from within out, right? I mean, it's so important. So what is the adventure within? I mean, meditation is just to connect to higher level of consciousness, to connect really from our origin, where our energy is coming from, right? Because we are all vibration, everything is vibration. And so we are all energy being. So what this energy is coming from, right? And so that led to me becoming a meditator, right? And I did it a lot, even too much, because I was totally ungrounded, right? To be honest with you.
Right, right.
Yeah, it was too much, And yes, that was, I didn't have to travel any longer. My traveling was done by closing my eyes.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's such a good way to put it. I love that. So what it was at the time that you were diagnosed and had gone through your divorce and whatever that you started what you do now, kind of the beginning of that?
Yeah, in a way, I was living the American dream, right? I had like 4 employees. I was seeing 250 patients a week. I mean, I had money, I had like that big house. I met a French woman in a bar in Kansas City, which I still reside there. And I had a daughter, right? So everything, like when you think you got it all, right? Okay, this is it, blah, blah, blah. Well, when life has got more in store for you than where you are actually, life will let you know, right? And so what happened, I was so focused on helping others and the practice. And when I was coming home, I was not there, but not present. So of course I ended up, like you said, divorcing. And when you divorce and you've got a kid, it's never a handshake. So I became depressed. I was already burned out. So my practice went from thriving to failing, right? And so, and also, of course, I got sick. So I will tell people what not to do or what to do in order to prevent them to have a cancer, to have like a cardiovascular disease. I'm doing my own program. I got sick. So I have to redefine myself at so many different levels. My health, my relationship, my health, my relationship, my job, because I was not doing a good job on myself, right? And my prosperity, right? So but I knew some deep within me, because I'm a very intuitive person and creative, I think. And so I knew that there was something inside of me that was pushing me to sabotage my health, to sabotage my relationship, and to sabotage my prosperity. So I say, okay, what the heck happened to me, right? Like a simple man that's got problem, I want to find solution for his problem. And that has been my path of discovering the mind clearing and never look back.
Wow. So what did you do? How did you get where you are right now?
Well, I already was pretty satisfied with treating people physically. With a chiropractor, I became a cranial specialist. I did create my own energy healing technique. So that was good. And after we had the chemical stress, what we call inflammation, right? What I discovered is when you can supercharge your body with oxygen, miracle will happen. Actually, cancer cells, they hate oxygen. They thrive like all infectious agents in an acidic environment. So I created some very cheap mixture to supercharge myself with oxygen. And that's really helped because I treated my cancer naturally, right? And so I was able to get out of that cancer. And after, what was left is the emotional, what we call the mind and body connection, right? So I started to study the mind, and what is discovered blew my mind away.
Yeah.
It really is. Because we're talking about our mind, but we don't really know what it is. We don't actually, if you study the mind, you're going to understand that who you think you are, you're not.
That's so true. That's so true. And I met someone the other day that said she asks her clients, like, are you willing to be wrong about everything you think about yourself? And that has stuck with me, because I feel like that's where the awakening starts, is when you start to realize how wrong you've been.
Or how much you have been lied to, right? Also, it's not necessarily... you see, because for me, what is very important, I will say I'm a seeker of knowledge, of freedom and truth. And they all correlate. They all have if you don't have a knowledge, how can you be closer to the truth, right? And the truth will set you free, right? And so they are all connected to me. And so that's very important to do that. But in order to do that, we need to talk about something that is really dear to my heart. It's we all have been programmed. You have been programmed. I have been programmed. everybody listening to that program has been programmed, right? So how does it work? What do you mean we have been programmed? Well, first of all, you need to know that you've got two different kind of mind. You've got, it's kind of like you live in two separate worlds at the same time, to better define that. And so you've got the outer world, right? Which is basically your conscious mind, your self-identity, who you think you are, how you perceive your reality. So what you're aware of, right? So you're aware of your thought, your emotion, your behavior, and your action. So that's your conscious mind. And after you've got a very secretive and hidden, mysterious mind that we're going to call the subconscious mind. And this mind records everything, sweetie. Everything you have been doing in your life is recorded in your subconscious mind. All your skill as a podcaster, as whatever you do, are coming from your subconscious mind. All the automatic things that are happening in your body, in your physiology, like your heart rate, your digestion, your breathing, are coming from your subconscious mind. So I really got intrigued. I said, wow, man, that seems to be powerful, right? And really what blew my mind, and if people are in their car and not driving, just regardless, put your seatbelt on, because what I'm going to tell you is going to hopefully redefine who you are as a person. Right? So here's the thing. According to who you read, your conscious mind, who you think you are, your self-identity, everything that you perceive with your senses, it's only 5 or 10% of your mind. Therefore, your subconscious mind, that you have totally no idea really what's going on, right, is 90 to 95% of your mind, right?
That's
and
crazy.
Yet, and yet when we want to heal, transform ourselves, or grow, well, we focus only on our conscious mind, meaning we are using only 5 or 10% of our mind power. Yes, we're using the little me. And that's how I call it. We're using your little me, right? And so I thought to myself, hey, you know what? Why not bringing the subconscious mind to the party, right? And that's what the mind clearing is about.
I love the way you have organized that thought, because it's a great way to explain it. And it's not like I haven't been aware of this, but it did make me think of my growth in a different context, because you're so right. All of these things I could not have known unless I got very intentional about tapping into what that subconscious belief was. Granted, I've still got so much learning about myself and whatever. But the parts that I have figured out, it's crazy, because I know I've been carrying it my whole life. And then I finally able to isolate and identify a belief. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I just made that a conscious thought. And now I understand, and now I can deal with it. But it's not always easy to do that. It takes a lot of willingness to be still. Do you think, would you say that?
I say yes and no. Because here's the problem in my field. In my field, they are not, I don't know. Okay, here's the thing. When I used to travel, right, I will meet some wonderful people in different countries, and some countries I couldn't speak the language. And so that's the most frustration that I had, because I was not speaking the same language. I couldn't really communicate deeply. Just imagine, the sound goes off. We have no more sound. We're gonna be able to connect. I'm gonna have to use sign language, write down some stuff. That's difficult. That's how you have been taught to do it, the hard way. Because what you have been taught, I'm guessing, maybe I'm wrong, but you have been taught to journal things, you have been taught to identify your limiting belief. I say you don't have to at all. Because how do you think using 5 or 10% of your mind, you're going to crack 90 to 95% of your mind? I mean, the odds they're pretty much against you, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Not real good.
Not real good. And so on top of that, you're going to, they tell you need to do lots of affirmation, lots of things. So you need really to have an iron will. That's why it's so difficult, in order to get some kind of result. I say, wait a minute. No, when you speak the same language, I'm speaking English. If I switch to French, you're going to be lost, right? That's it. So we need to speak the same language, right? So what is the language of the subconscious mind? Well, what do the subconscious mind communicate with you? For example, when you remember a dream, what do you remember of a dream? There's always a picture with it, or a movie, or whatever, a series of pictures,
Mm-hmm.
right? I never heard somebody, oh, I remember only the smell of my dream. It doesn't even make any sense, right? So you need to use pictures, right? Okay, that's why if you look at your conscious mind and the subconscious mind, your conscious mind process data at 11 bits per second, right? And your subconscious mind process data at 11 million bits per second. It means right now, listening to you, I get consciously only 11 bits. The
Right.
subconscious mind gets so much more information we're not conscious of, obviously, right? But 11 million times more. So a picture is worth 1,000 words, right? So the picture, there's symbolism that you cannot even describe by words, right? And all that. So you need to definitely use, the different picture in order to communicate with the subconscious mind. And
So
so
you
what
mean
I found,
visualization or an actual like photo, like how people
no,
do those
visualization
visual?
in your mind. So
Okay.
let's keep it simple, right? So when you've got, let's compare your mind as a computer, right? And so your brain will be the hard drive. That's the physical part, right? Your software will be the subconscious mind. The output of your software will be the conscious mind. And your behavior will be reflected on the screen, right? Or the screen of life, if you want, right?
Mm-hmm.
So since, we have been programmed, right? I didn't go too much into it, but we'll go deeper later. So you've got programs that are serving you, right? It's kind of
Yeah.
like when you've got days when, man, your mind is really working for you and not against you, right? You are achieving lots of things. You think like everybody like loves you, everything is wonderful, right?
Yeah.
And so those are called empowering beliefs, right? So it's programs that are serving you. And after you've got programs that are not serving you any longer. And those are called limiting beliefs. It's kind of when your mind is working against you instead of working for you. So your typical day will be, oh man, everything that I do doesn't work, right? It's actually counterproductive. I wish I would have stayed in bed, right? Because this is not working at all. And we all have days like
Right.
that, right?
Yeah.
So the problem with those programs that are located and stored in your subconscious mind, they run permanently, and they're coming from your past trauma, your past unresolved challenges, your past unresolved emotion that you had, right? Or
Mm-hmm.
challenges. And so what happened is kind of you stuck in the past. And that past define your present and molding your future. And so it's kind of your past is controlling you, right? Because we think consciously, oh, I'm in control, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. But it's actually the subconscious mind that is defining who you are and the way you react to things.
Yeah. So then how do you start to shift?
Yeah. So okay, let's go into that. All right. So, it's kind of when you've got a program in your computer, right? You don't like it. It doesn't work anymore. You want more out of that program, right? What are you going to do? Take your mouse. You will click delete, right? Step number one. You need to delete what you don't want, right? And after, you're going to go to the Play Store. You're going to download a program that is serving you. Step number two, you download what you want. And after step number three, which is very important, you want to make sure that you're going to create that you're going to manifest on your screen of life. That what your ideal outcome will be reflected on the screen of life, because we are made to experience things.
Mm-hmm.
If you think, for example, you say, oh, I'm going to start on a diet. So I'm thinking I'm going to start on a diet. But suddenly I feel like, oh man, last time I started a diet, I lost the weight. But after in few months, I gain back and more. So that's not good, right? Your emotions are not aligned with it, right? And so your behavior is not going to be able. So what you need, if you visualize a triangle like this, right?
Uh-huh.
Inside the triangle, you've got your limiting belief, right? Let's give an example. Maybe, okay, somebody told me, or my dad told me, I'm a loser. So my limiting belief is I'm a loser. On the top of a triangle, that's your thought. So I'm going to think I'm a loser. On the bottom right of the triangle, it's your emotion. I'm going to feel like a loser. On the bottom left of a triangle, it's your behavior and action. So I'm going to behave like a loser. I'm going to have loser result, which make me feel more like I'm a loser, I'm going to think, man, I knew I was a loser, but such a loser. And that's going to reinforce what I call the subconscious stress loop. And we all have this loop and program running and running and running all the time. That's why we sabotage, like I sabotage myself. That's why we sabotage ourselves and we say, why I'm still, attracting the same man or woman? Why I'm still doing that? Let me give you a quick example to show you how we are not in control at all. And this is our negative programming that are controlling us. Let's pretend there's a little girl that her dad, is a drunk. And every night he comes back and he's drunk and beat up his wife. So what do you think that little girl, when she grows up, is going to attract as a romantic relationship? What kind of man?
An abusive man?
Hey, here we go. She's going to attract an abusive man, right? And so let me point on two things about that. The first thing, if you ask that woman now and you say, oh, do you enjoy to get beat up like your mom? The conscious mind is going to say, heck no. But the subconscious mind has been programmed as men are predators and women are prey. Number one.
Yeah.
Number two, comment. How she's going to attract that man? She's going to say, hey, you come here, man. Can you beat me up? Right? That's not how it's going to work. So it's kind of our subconscious mind are all connected to each other. Right? They are all connected to each other. That's the only reason, right? That we're not conscious of that because it's the subconscious mind, right? And so here's how it works. So I'm going to play the role of a subconscious mind of that woman to start with. So the subconscious mind of that woman is going to say, oh, look at this guy. He's got the predator program, right? He has been bullied and now he's a bully. That's a perfect match. You're going to fall in love with him. Now I'm going to play the role of a subconscious mind of that man. Say, oh, look at that woman. She's got the prey program, right? She likes to be bullied. That's a perfect match for me, right? You're going to fall in love with her. And so polarity attracts, right? In a way, right?
Yeah.
And so what happens, they're going to fall in love with each other and they're going to genuinely think, I'm in love with that guy, right? And all that, but they don't know the agenda behind it, the subconscious agenda behind it, right? So there's three different case scenarios that can happen with it. Case scenario number one, she's going to marry that guy and stay stuck in that abusive relationship for the rest of her life. And we say, why? And we all know people like this, right? Or I've heard about people like that. And why she's still with that man? He beating her up. She called the cops and doesn't press charges. And why? It's because of this program, right? It's because of that negative programming controlling her life and make her attract this kind of man. Number two, let's pretend she goes with that man, right? And after she got tired of getting beat up and find another man, look at all the suffering. Maybe along the way she's got kids, with two different men. Who knows, right? And so there's two kind of realization that they experience. The number one, they tell me, oh, Dr. Salas, don't talk to me about men anymore. I'm done with them. They're not good for me. It's well established. It's kind of like there's a fire. You put your finger in the fire, you get burned once. Twice, you say, okay, it burns. I'm done. I'm not going to put my finger again, right? And after because we can learn and heal from our life experiences, right? So if this happens, she will attract a man that is totally different, a man that is very kind to her, that is very supportive of her, that see her as an equal, right? That's how you heal. Or case scenario number three, should I say? They can come to see me and we can avoid all that suffering, right? And uncertainty, and we can literally reprogram, like I say, we delete number one, I will say visualize you being abused by that man, right? And after we delete that program and customize it to her, and I'm here as a guide, I will give her, that's her that's going to send the program to a fictional her in the picture, right? So I give her the technology to use 90% of a mind that she couldn't have access to it, right? So it's really truly empowering you to heal yourself. And in my book, when you're empowering somebody to heal themselves or transform themselves, that's the holy grail of healing and transformation. There's nothing better than that. So we do that. Number two, I will say, okay, now visualize a totally different picture, the ideal outcome, maybe the ideal man that you want, right? And after we download that program into the subconscious mind, that's what we want instead. You don't need to identify the limiting belief. You just replace it by what you want. You see, that's simple. And so you just delete that, and I help to guide her and customize the program. And after number three, okay, you see yourself. What will you do now that you're totally different, that you've got a man, that where will you be? And we download that in order for to manifest that. That's that complicated, ironically, right? I say it's very simple.
Yeah. Boy, I sure do complicate that a lot, though. I think because for a few months I was really solid about doing visualization work, and then I just kind of quit doing it, I guess, because I didn't see the results I wanted, and I started second
Too many
guessing.
repetition. Yeah, that's why I said it's too many repetition. It's like I don't know, it's like having a big net like this and try to fish small fish. Right? You put your net and get it, and what you get, it's like no fish, right? Because they're too small.
Yeah.
So that's very hard. I'm not saying it's impossible, but that's the hard way. And it's not very specific. You know, I'm the only one in this field that I know of that claim to be able to treat pain.
Yeah.
Right? Meaning that 70 to 80% of the people that I treat for pain, neck pain, whatever it is, or symptom in their body, that will go away within 2 visits. Right? So that's how powerful it is when you speak the same language, right? And nobody dare talking to you about, oh, your limiting belief can create pain and all that. No, and I'm sure you know, right? Nobody dare that. And on top of that, treating your inflammation and symptom, no. But your mind is the higher level of awareness that you've got. So if you look at the domino effect, you've got your subconscious mind, your conscious mind, your thought, your emotion, your behavior, your action, right? That's it. So when you can go to up as high as you can to change, you know, the origin of the domino effect, which is your subconscious mind, that's how you get the result. And so is it a stretch that to think that your mind can create pain? No, we know that. I mean, they know that, actually. Everybody should know that, because when we do some double-blind study, right? Let's say they do a study for heartburn, right? So I've got heartburn, let's say I'm going, right? And they say, oh, if you take that pill, no more heartburn. Yeah, take the pill. Damn, I have no more heartburn. I had that for 10 years, right? And they say, hold on, Dr. Salas. You know, actually, what you had, you had a sugar pill. You never had the real pill. So what does it mean? It means the belief, and it has to be subconscious. It can be conscious too, right? Maybe my dad one day took a pill and he got it better, and I had that program in my subconscious mind. Pills are good. Pills help you, right? And so, but it doesn't really matter what it is. You see, that's my point. It doesn't really matter what it is. What is that belief, right? What it matters is to understand the concept and how it works. So my subconscious belief say that pill will heal you, and it healed me. It's called the placebo effect, right? And they brush it up. Oh, it's only the placebo effect. I say, heck no, that's how we're supposed to heal. That's how we're supposed to heal. We are the placebo. The mind clearing allowed you to use that what's so-called placebo effect in order to heal. But that's literally the way we're supposed to heal. That's one of the higher level of healing that you can have, because it's just your mind creates your reality, right? And the way you perceive reality. So when you can change that, you change your reality. And so if your reality is living in pain, of course we can change that. If your reality is to have a symptom and nobody can treat that, of course this will help. If your reality is just to feel anxious, of course we can change that. Does it make sense?
Yeah, it does. But okay, so in terms of entrepreneurs, because you know I'm an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
are you saying I don't need to keep figuring out what the limiting belief is? I need to just focus on reprogramming my subconscious.
Well, let's see how it works. So you're an entrepreneur. So you want to be successful, right? Because if a business doesn't make money, it's not a business, right? Number
Right.
one. So your current reality, let's pretend, is A. And where you want to be, your goal is B, right? Whatever it is, doesn't matter. So what you need to do first is just to, okay, what is the fear? What are your doubts about reaching that B stuff, right? So those are all the things that potentially can prevent you or create resistance in order to reach B. So what we'll do, we will delete all the things that in your mind, all the fear you may have, all the uncertainty you may have, all the doubt that you may have of reaching your goal. So we'll do mind clearing on that and delete all that. So now you're okay, now I can really see myself, achieving that goal. Is it enough? No, it's not. What you need to do, the first thing, is after when you are in your current reality, I will tell you, okay, now take one step that it's very easy to check within a week, for example. So maybe you tell me, I'm going to call like 10 people that have been reaching that goal and pick up their brain, right? So what happened, you call those guys and maybe only 3 answers. And 2 brush you up and 1 is really ready to help. So I will ask you, what is it the thing during that process you didn't like? Because this is preventing you, it's our mind that are preventing you to reach the goal. You say, well, I didn't like, people didn't answer to me, they didn't care. Okay, boom, we delete all that, right? And so what this, and we do each step after each step. So each step after each step, you're going to raise your level of clarity, focus, and certainty, right? So instead of losing that, you raising it up, because let's face it, why we stop to do whatever we do, because it's become too hard. Right?
Yeah.
We say, okay, I'm done.
Or we're
with
not
it.
seeing a payoff or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but bottom line, it's become too hard. Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it becomes too hard to continue and believing in it in the case of you don't reach your goal, right? And so what happened, this is the opposite. You make it easier and easier. And more clarity, you've got, more you're going to have access to new knowledge that you couldn't resonate with, right? Because when you're here, you have certain level of knowledge, right? I mean, I experienced myself when I started to do things out of the blue to create the mind clearing. Took me 3 years. And my first thought was, I'm going to explain that. I didn't have the knowledge, but I treated myself and I had more clarity and I was reaching more knowledge, but I couldn't have access to it and resonating to it, right? So you're going to do that, right? So it's going to become easier and easier with more certainty and all that. Now, not only now you're going to have access to new knowledge, and that new knowledge maybe is going to make you course correct that preconceived idea that you had previously to reach your goal. And you go say, no, now I know this and this. Instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you're going to go 1, 2, and 5 directly.
Yeah.
Right? Because you see what I mean? Or maybe it's going to be
move different based off the new clarity.
Course correct. You're going to be able to course correct according to the new knowledge, the new confidence, the new clarity that you have.
Yeah.
So it becomes easier and easier. So we all use what we see as a negative resistance. It's an opportunity to get better and to change. That's truly the creator mindset. Why? Because either you're in victim mode and you're a creator, right? If you're in victim mode, you blame the outside world, your circumstances, for that you think that's all what's preventing you to reach your goal, right? But what's preventing you to reach your goal is within. That's it. I mean,
don't say that. No, I'm just kidding. This conversation's coming along at a really pivotal time because I've kind of just been like understanding this concept a little better. Like, well, first of all, you're attacking me right now because I'm absolutely victimizing myself. So like, I'm like, oh, shots fired. But I get it because I'm going to be so honest. And I say this a lot, but like, I didn't realize how much this is the center of my universe, is the victim mentality of I don't want to say it's out loud, but truly like a lot of the times I'm like, the universe just, I'm just not doing this right. So the universe isn't going to let me this or this. Like I'm being restricted by something outside of me. So I have started to acknowledge my role in it, but I'm not seeing myself as the creator. I am seeing myself as a victim 100%. Like I can see that, but I've identified even really where my fears are. Like so much, like I have this huge betrayal wound, and so much of my fear is that I'm going to buy all in and I'm going to do all the things and still not get what I want. And that would be the ultimate betrayal. So I keep myself from reaching too far because I can explain away any set of circumstances right now. Does that make sense?
Oh, it makes sense. I've got several things that I'm resonating with you and intuition that I've got, but you say it yourself. Number one, you need to realize that you are the universe. There's no separation. The universe is you. The way you perceive your reality is you. Let me give you an example for our listeners too. Let's prevent I'm just swimming, and goggling, and with it's a reef. It's beautiful, and I've got my best friend with me, right? And she's like, we're doing that. We are enjoying ourselves. It's wonderful. And we get a little bit carried away, and we go. And at one point, we still see the fish, that beautiful environment, right? That we both enjoy. And we don't see the bottom of the ocean anymore. And I didn't know this girl, right, had a phobia about it. If she doesn't see the bottom of the ocean, she will have a panic attack and fear. So we are basically almost in the same environment. There's only one thing that changed, and now I'm still enjoying myself, and her, she almost drowned, right? Because of a panic attack that she had, right? So what is that fear? The fear is coming from our limiting belief. So we get rid of our limiting belief, and after she can have, and she was enjoying herself like pretty much it. So we are creating our reality. I know it sounds cliche to say that, but that's the truth. It's kind of reality is a mental picture. It's kind of everything is mental. And our senses making the way it is, right? Palpable and all that. But bottom line, everything is vibration. Everything is energy and frequency. Like Tesla said, if you want to discover the origin, of the universe, think about, or crack the code of the universe. I'm paraphrasing here, think about term of, energy, frequency, and vibration, right? But bottom line, quantum physics prove it. We are vibration, so it's a wave, right? So you got up and down. In life, you're going to have up and down. Now, second thing that I want, for you, the problem is betrayal. Why you even say it? If I do that, and I go all in, what I'm concerned is I'm being betrayed and I'm not going to get the result, right? So that limiting belief or betrayal needs to be erased.
Yes.
It needs to go. It needs to be deleted, downloaded. And like that, you can create a world without betrayal. And probably when you were a kid, more than likely, because those programs are usually very strong from 0 to 7 years old, right? And what happened at this age, we process the world differently. I mean, for God's sake, we even have different brain waves. We've got beta wave, theta wave, right? And so we're like sponges, right? So what we perceive like, in the outer world, again, we assume it's the truth. So you assume one time, two times, it become a program. And that program, like I said earlier, it is located in your subconscious mind and running constantly behind the scene, right? So it's kind of, you say, okay, I'm going to go with that guy.
All right, we were having an internet issue for a second. You're back. Okay.
Yeah. So what I was saying, like, even if you go with somebody already in the back of your mind, of your subconscious mind, you're going to be betrayed.
Yeah.
No matter what you do, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
Because the expectation of the subconscious mind is to be betrayed. So you can do that by sabotaging yourself, whatever it is, it doesn't really matter. But if you understand the concept, right? And so
Yes.
it's like it's a lose-lose situation, because no matter who it is, it can be the most amazing guy, right? If this is not treated, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
No, you're absolutely right. And this was like actually my first big awakening was whenever I realized the reason I couldn't receive love from others is because I didn't love myself. Like, so of course I was going to believe nobody loved me the way I love them and because I felt like I was on the periphery of all of my relationships. And then I realized like it's because you don't love yourself, and that's the only love that's true. And you share that with others, but it's just the way you feel about yourself being reflected back at you. And
But
I feel like this is the area too.
if you believe you're going to be, I mean, there's no more relationship than that being betrayal, right? Because if you think you're going to be betrayed, right? So what is the why? It's because they don't love me, right? Because I don't deserve to be
Mhm.
loved, right? So they're just going to abandon me, right? That's what betrayal is. It's a form of abandonment, right? And
Yes.
not, so that's what you had, probably some experience like that. We don't need to figure it out. It's not a problem. We
Yeah.
just, I will have you visualize being betrayed. Then we delete that son of a gun, right? And download you seeing the life that with no betrayal, right? Why they would betray me, and make sure that you can manifest that into your life. I
Yeah.
personally guarantee you that if you don't do maybe use the other technique, doesn't matter. I'm talking about heart to you, right? If you
Yeah.
don't correct that, it's not going to happen for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, that's really impactful. That is really impactful. Do you still is there any part of you that catches yourself in old programming ever, or
Yes, I
yeah.
treat myself once every other day, sometimes one every day. Whatever things happen to my life and I didn't like it, so I will do different treatment. We can do mind clearing on the fly. Takes really minutes. Just we delete simply, right? And if it's something that I already reprogrammed, right? But this is it. I mean, yes, that's the way for physical, chemical, emotional, and mental hygiene. Lots of people are talking about to detox the body. I say you need to detox your mind.
So
That's the
true.
same
So
thing.
true. Yeah. You're
So
absolutely right.
detoxification is a process, right? You need to, first of all, when you've got detoxification, there's such a misunderstanding because I treat people with long-term pain and stress and chronic disease that nobody wants to treat, right? And so the first thing, you need to remove yourself with what's creating the toxin to start with. Instead of paying like thousands of dollars on a program that's going to last a month, and after you're going to go back to old habits and getting the toxins again, right? And so that's the same with the mind, right? What's causing your problem, right? Because when you've got a problem in life, you need to know two things in order to permanently remove that problem or challenges. Meaning you don't even think about it, you moved on, right? You need to know what's causing your problem and how to fix it. When you need to know those two things, that's all you need to know, right?
Yeah.
That's it. And
Yeah.
so you need first to go to the cause of a problem, right? And not treating the symptom, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
that's it. So what are the cause of your mind problem? Well, we know it's the subconscious mind programming and your negative programming. So we need to change that. That's it. And the domino effect will be that is going to change, the way you think, you feel, you behave, and you act.
Yeah. Oh, I love this. I feel so good right now because it's such confirmation of some things that I've been processing the last few days. So it feels really good to feel like, and I have to say this, thank you for the reminder. Like, I'm the universe, because that's the part that my old religious programming just keeps me separated from that sometimes. And I also like that you are encouraging hygiene around reprogramming your subconscious, or however you want to phrase that. But I have to remember to do better at the hygiene, because I can start white knuckling an experience and then all my learning goes to shit. And I just start, oh, I'm going to get through but I'm bracing, I'm guarding. I'm not
Well,
flowing, you know?
if you allow me, we can expand on that, right? And let's pretend that the sun is God or is awareness, whatever your belief is about. It doesn't really matter. And after a spark of that sun, create your spirit. And after you've got the sky, and the sky and above, your spirit and awareness of God is like pure love, imagine, right? Or some people say it's all I've been and you will ever be, right? So that's non-duality, right? And after you got you and me as a physical being, right? And after some people, the sky is so loaded with cloud, they say, there's no sun. The sun doesn't even exist, right? And so what are the clouds made of? Of your limiting belief, of that negative programming that separates you, right? And so what you do, you just do the work, get rid of limiting belief using the mind clearing, right? Very easy, very fast. Boom, 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 you do that. And now you can start to feel a little bit the sun once in a while, right? Now you can have a glimpse at the sun, right? And after you do more and more limiting belief, right? And you're getting more connected to your spirit, right? Because you're children of God. You become more and more, and that now you've got the awakening that you are not only your little me, right? You are not only bone and flesh like you have been told. You are not only 5 or 10% of your entire mind, right? You just realize that you are a spirit living a physical experience, living a human experience. And that's, to me, where the true awakening happened. Because after that, you cannot go back. You understand really that you are much more than you have been told. You are much more than your senses. You are much more than your self-identity. You're much more than everything you have been told before.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so true. Man, you are very powerful. I love the way you talk about this. It's very impactful. I really appreciate you being here today. Before we kind of wrap things up, is there anything, like, do you feel like you kind of hit all your high points? Is there anything like specific you want to touch on?
Yeah, I would like to say that, first of all, you are so much more powerful than you are. You know, you are not only your little me with all your restriction. When you understand that, you know, at conception, you've got everything. You're not even born with it. You're conceived like this. And look at a baby, even when he's born, he's like, it looks like he's another world, right? Because you know, that self-identity is so minimum. You know, our rational mind is so minimum, right? And so we can still, you know, in the belly of a mom, you can get limiting belief if she's got some fear and things like that. But at conception, boom, pure spirit, right? And so, like I say, you know, that's going to be the title of my book, and it's going to be Conceived to Succeed and Programmed to Fail, right? And so when we can get rid of all those programming, right, what happened after, we can go back to, hopefully go toward, should I say, closing that circle that when you were conceived and now, and become closer to our spirit, which is why, you know, and like that, it's much easier to make good choices for ourselves, right? We love ourselves because spirit is all love, right? It's pure love. And so it's what we call unconditional love, right? And so basically, that's what I want to say. You are so much more powerful. I want to create a hat like this and say, yes, you are so powerful.
Yeah.
And you have been told that you're not. And that's not true. That's not simply the truth. I already explained it and demonstrate that. So I really want to people to understand that. The second thing that I want to understand, if you feel or think that you have been everywhere and try everything with no success, right? It's because they didn't find what's causing your problem, and they don't know how to fix it, right? And we know the common things, the common thread that's causing your problem is definitely the higher level is your mind, and more specifically your subconscious mind, and whose negative programming that dictates your present and shaping and molding your future. So the good news, okay, you can say the bad news, oh man, I've been programmed and all that, and it's not your fault, right? I understand that. Most of those programs are coming from other people, right? Or some really specific trauma that you had, or unresolved challenges, right? So it's not your fault, but when you know there's a way to change, that becomes your responsibility to do that. Because not only when you treat yourself, you're going to help the generation that comes, but all the people, your loved one, that are exposed to your energy, because your energy will be different. But sometimes I see like pattern from generation to generation, like especially with women, it's pretty obvious. Sometimes, okay, she got pregnant, no, there's no man there. And after the grandma is like that, the mom is like that,
Right.
the daughter is like that, right? So what
Yeah.
kind of legacy you can give to your kid just to make sure to stop that insanity, that generational trauma that we call
Mhm.
that's been passed on. And so no, I truly believe that's going to help also the spirit of your ancestor, but also is going to make sure that your kid, and especially, of course, if you're the daughter, is not going to have to live the same path. So at so
Yeah.
many different levels, not only for yourself, but for everybody, keep in mind what you brought up all the time with you, it's your energy, right? That cannot go away, right? That's called good vibe and bad vibe, right? They are there, right? All the time. And so you kind of have a frequency signature, right? That we all have a different. And the good news, we can change that frequency and make it higher, right? And so you higher your level of frequency, the higher your clarity, your focus, and also your certainty, by higher your consciousness, and the more connection you get to your spirit and God and awareness, of course.
Mm. I love it. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
you so much. And I am so glad to know you are in the world doing this work, because the world needs more people like you. And I really appreciate you coming on today and just being so good at what you do. Like, I feel really moved by this conversation.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be complicated. I mean,
Yeah.
we can talk about some subject, but pretty deep subject, right? I mean, who I am and
Yeah.
all that, right? But it doesn't have to be complicated. It should be
Right.
simple. While if somebody explain complicated, it means they don't have a clear understanding. That's my opinion, right? But
Yeah.
I'm not saying I know everything, right? I mean, don't get me
Right.
wrong.
Right.
But you need to be able to communicate that simply, right? And I'm glad, that's touching you, because I think there's a good amount of truth for what I'm saying, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you're right. I have way been overcomplicating some things. And
We all do.
I'm gonna check in with you in a couple of weeks and let you know all the wonderful things that have started happening in my life since I've started applying some of this. I'll let you know.
Okay.
Well, I don't know what time it is where you are, but it's daytime here, so I hope you have a great day.
I'm not
And
sure.
I will make sure that I let you know. Well, truth be told, I'll probably not let you know till the day before this airs, because that
Sure.
seems to be how I roll. But I do keep up with the pod match thing, where I'll put it in there. So if
Yes.
you check on that often, it will be updated soon for the right date. But as far
Wow.
as me personally checking in, I'm not the greatest at that till the day before.
Yeah, I'm going to go to Podmatch and do the things that they say and all that. And
Okay,
that's what I'm
perfect.
going
And I will too at some point this weekend.
to do.
Thank you
Oh,
so
it
much,
was nice
Susie.
talking
I
to
love
you. Yeah, it was very cool
Yes,
conversation. I appreciate you. Thank you.
absolutely. All right. Bye-bye.
Ciao.
Hey, make sure you've given the show a 5-star rating on whatever platform you're listening to if you haven't already. And check out my website, empoweredwithmelissahepner.org, or my link tree on Instagram at melissa.hepner to check out my latest offers or workshops.
Emotionally unavailable.
All right, that's it from me. So make sure that you check out the show notes for links. And until next time, let's all just keep swimming.
Emotionally unavailable.
INDEPE and cut.